Yeah, this is Papa WaBe and Time have come. Well, I can tell them one story. This is Dejazmatch. Stay tuned.
Do you remember the first time you heard Robert Nesta Marley?
Yeah, upstairs. Like I said, with the brethren that stayed upstairs.
Okay, so he went straight for Bob, or did he?
It was Catch a Fire. That was the first, but then there's also Jimmy Cliff.
Okay.
And Inner Circle. Okay, with Jacob, and so Third World. There were those artists that we had the harmony and definitely the message. And Bob, yes, Bob was truly the man. But then there was Dennis, and there were other Dennis Brown. There were other artists as well that I like, because I like harmony, because my father used to sing, and being around the music, trying to find out, who's who, who's what, there's music coming out of England, In Crowd. There was different other artists that we also, okay, And then, of course, being the Pan-African vibe, there were a lot of African artists like Fela and Tumbe. There's a lot of other artists that I used to listen to because I'm a funkhead. So I like Mandrill, I like War, I like, CBSA, different groups that had that groove, always had that groove, So when when it was time for I to play music on the radio, we had been around folks. Well, I'll rewind. I was at PFW, and I didn't have a goal to play music on the radio. I wanted to be a news broadcaster. Okay, I went to school, went to AU for journalism. I wanted to be the next Gordon Parks.
I'm learning something here. Learning something here. Yeah.
So, I was into photography, so I wasn't really into the music. I used to do weddings, So, like I said, I wanted to be the next Gordon Parks, Max Robinson. And Max Robinson was the first Black male news anchor in Washington, D.C. on TV. Okay. So that was my thing. I learned engineering. I had to, I got my little third class radio operator's license that you had to do to run the board, because my sister and Maria Mims, big up to Maria, and James White, they used to teach us youth, about broadcasting, how to speak from your diaphragm and those certain things you needed to do. So I used to edit. I used to be everyone's go-to engineer. I did news, was sent on special assignments. Lauren Cresslove was our general manager there. And, I was sent down to, before, when Stevie Wonder first played Martin Luther King's song, it was in John Conyers' office. Okay. So it was few reporters that were, so there I was, and, from
happy birthday.
Yeah, that's the first time it was unveiled in John Conyers' office.
And I was there live.
I was there, man. The place was crowded, but from that, I met a lot of contacts. Okay, I met a lot of contacts and people, and so we just over the years, just humble do our thing. And after about maybe a year and a half, in late 1979. Don Williams, who was the music director at the time, he asked if I could handle a show and a music show. And I said, yeah, a jazz show. And so I said, sure, but I'm not going to be like everyone else. He said, just play music. Okay. It was overnight. I followed a legendary man, Jimmy Blackfire Gray, Brother Jimmy Gray. Okay. At 19, I followed that man. Okay. And I had listened to him when he was on HUR, GTB, other radio stations throughout.
What year was this? Just to give some context.
79, late 79.
79, okay.
Into 80, okay. And now, mind you, at PFW, now Jimmy Blackfire Gray, he's a musicologist, so he could mix and merge music from you name it, from if it was West African music to East African to Louisiana, he was that musicologist. And I'm just glad that I learned from him and eventually became a friend. So,
okay.
But there were people on the air. There was Sidney White and Tony Carr, Mr. Von Martin. I used to listen to him. But he didn't play so much reggae. He played Caribbean music, and mainly from Trinidad. And Sister Dira, she had jazz music. Okay. There was also a brother named Tom Terrell, who was on HFS. Okay. And then we had a collective, Sounds Like Thunder Collective, with Sandra Ratley, Bar Horton, and a few other folks that would play reggae and other progressive musics. Okay. So that was already there at the station.
So how much reggae out of, this is 1979, Washington, D.C., the nation's capital. How much reggae was being played when you entered the scene?
Some, not a lot. PFW was the main radio station. You had HUR, you had HFS. When Brother Tom Terrell passed, I went to HFS because he suggested before he left that I should go to HFS. And I went, because back then we dealt with reel, okay? Cassette wasn't really too big then, we had to deal. So I made a nice little tape, took it over, had a meeting with the Stein brothers, and they said, can we keep this? I said, sure. They called me back 2 days later and said, we love your program. However, your programming is too strong for our station.
What was the programming at that time? What was the vibe like?
Well, you see, this goes into a whole nother reason, my brother. Okay, and you wanted the reason. This goes into another reason. Even to this day, in 2024, you don't hear a lot of positive roots and culture reggae music on the radio.
No, we're gonna get into the message and the music. So for everyone tuning in, we're gonna get into it. This is Papa WaBe. This man knows what he's talking about, family. So we're gonna get deep in this topic. So get your snacks, get yourself together, because we're going deep. This is not gonna be a novice level conversation. I'm in the music industry. The brethren is in the industry 40 years. We're gonna go big up Rothschild, one of our family in the comments. He's our fireman. Bless up Jenny Roots. Bless up greetings. Yes, the Lion Pride is trotting in. Bless up the Lion Pride. Come in, family. We're gonna go deep. So, talk to us about what was your style. Was it too black? What was happening?
All of that. Okay, all of that. Okay, because
give it to us raw.
Because you see, that's all he said. They didn't explain it. They didn't break it down. He was nice and humble about it. It's just too strong. So when I put it to you like this, when white boys who own a radio station tell you that we love what you do, but it's too strong for us, that only let me know that I was doing something right. Okay, because I was never going to water down what I want. And what I was playing is positive message music, okay, about Africans, how we Africans, about how, same style I play now. Okay, if you ever listen to it, same, it don't change. Okay, and so I said, okay, we're gonna keep the fire burning. We're gonna keep. So when I was playing when I got the show, when I'm following Jimmy Gray, I was playing a mixture of music, the jazz that I liked, and I wasn't the announcer that played 5 songs and told you who played every instrument. No diss to anyone that still does that, but I didn't do that. I was different from that. I told you the song, but I didn't tell you every instrument, everything that was played. And people used to listen at night because I was on overnight, 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And nice vibe, but mainly it was my brother and sister in at the community warehouse, other brothers and sisters. And then what really started happening and transpiring is that more and more of my brothers and sisters from here, from the States, would call us, hey, man, I ain't know about that reggae music like that. Man, I ain't know. And so that became my mission, is to educate folk, to uplift them about certain artists, whether they were from Jamaica, from here, from the continent, wherever they were producing positive quality message music. And when Bob passed in 81 is when I took it upon myself to play strictly reggae music, okay, message music, because talking to folks like Dira and other ones who had been around Bob and knew that's what he was trying to do, was to wake us up on this side. Well, wake people up all over, period, but to wake us up on this side.
Yeah, Ras Tafari, Emperor Haile Selassie the first. Tell the people about embarrassment. Well, even if the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, well, to the coming while we stand tall, I will shower you with my love. And even when the people start ball, cause they see the city streets them flood, but when the hurricane blow down their wall, I'll be by your side and me now but think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, your love was a lifeline. Think I found the love of a lifetime. I love you every day or the night time. Almighty, I made your light shine, and unto I, that light was a lifeline. It seems like the world is upside down. I will never hide, I'd rather stand my ground. Lion of Judah blessed with the triple crown. Can't come fool I with no circus clown. Now fear no hurricane or the cyclone. Respect for Mama Earth with that embedded on me bone. That's why I will never leave you alone. Protect you from harm when the alarm sound. So even when the stars they fall and the moon turn into blood, to the coming war